Hi, this is Betty Plus Books, and this is the Do I Have That Book tag. I was tagged by Bells from It's Bells, and she basically said, if you have a booktube channel, consider yourself tagged. So I also tag everyone watching this video who has a booktube channel. I have a feeling it's going to take me a long time to find all of these books. I have my lovely shelf here, but I also have a ton of books downstairs, and there's a possibility I won't be able to find something on this shelf. So if so, I'll have to go downstairs and try and find something. But I'm going to time myself, and we'll see how long finding everything takes me. So 1, 2, 3, go. All right, question 1. Do you have a book with deckled edges? So I think these are like the weird textured pages on the outside, and I do actually remember that I have one. This might be the only one I have. And that is The Core of the Sun by Johanna Sinisalo. It's got those weird like textured edges, so I have one for that one. That went pretty fast. Prompt 2, do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? I'm pretty sure I have one here. So here we have a book with 3 people on the cover and 1 ogre who I believe is a character, so I'm gonna count that as a person too. So this has 3 or more people on the cover. This is The Garrett Files by Glenn Cook. Question 3 is, do you have a book based on another fictional story? I don't really read a lot of retellings, or I haven't read a lot of retellings in a long time, so I'm not sure if I actually have anything for this. I don't think I have anything for this one. I would go downstairs and look, but I don't think I'd really catch on if any of the ones downstairs were retellings of things, because I haven't read a lot of the ones in our like inherited library. And so I think I would just like not notice. Yeah, I'm gonna say that I probably don't have this one. Prompt 4, do you have a book with a title 10 letters long? I assume it has to be 10 exactly. So for a title 10 letters long, we have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. That's 3 plus 4 plus 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10. Yes, I can do math. So this is 10 letters long. Prompt 5, do you have a book that starts and ends with the same letter? Right next to The Bell Jar, I have Graceling by Kristen Kishore. Graceling starts and ends with a G. Question 6, do you have a Mass Market Paperback book? I have a lot of these because I'm cheap, so I buy the cheap editions of things where possible. I'm gonna grab this one. This is a Mass Market Paperback. This is Half Off Ragnarok by Shauna McGuire, and I believe this is the 3rd or 4th book in the Encrypted series. Question 7, do you have a book written by an author that uses a pen name? And I do have this because this is my Shauna McGuire shelf, and these 3 books are under her pen name, Mira Grant, so I've got those covered. Question 8, do you have a book with the character's name in the title? And I hope that I can double dip on this because I think the only one I have here is The Garrett Files, again, by Glenn Cook. So the detective's name in this book is, I think, Detective Garrett. That is his name, and his name is in the title. Question 9, do you have a book with 2 maps in it? Now, I'm really disappointed that I returned my copy of The Dragon Republic because I know I remember that had 2 maps in it. And I remember this because in my Magical Readathon, I talked about it. Ha, I found one. So Red Seas Under Red Skies has 2 maps. One is the Sea of Brass map, and the other is the Tal Varar map. And I actually don't remember what these places are, so I think it's time to reread this sometime soon. Question 10, do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? And honestly, I grabbed this book from my bedroom earlier because I remembered from Belle's video that I had this. This is The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks, and I actually read like a good portion of this. I think I got like 3/4 of the way through, but even 3/4 of the way through, not a single woman had had a speaking role, and so I kind of got tired of it and decided to DNF it. But I did grab this book because I remembered that a TV series had been made out of it. Question 11, do you have a book written by someone who was originally famous for something else? I don't know if I have any books like this. I think the closest that I have to this is the Starting Strength Manual by Mark Ripto. So he is originally known for being like a powerlifting coach. So I have this, and I've gone through this program a couple of times. I really need to get back onto lifting if I want to lift anything heavy ever again, but I do have this book. Question 12, do you have a book with a clock on the cover? I don't know if I have this one. Let's look. It looks like, unfortunately, I don't have any books with pictures of clocks on them. Let's see if going downstairs helps at all. Yes, my house is a mess. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. King's got all kinds of covers. Maybe something in King? No, none of these have clocks. Why do none of these have clocks? Fine, we're going down another level. Let's see. No? For some reason, I thought this book had a clock on it. Oh, is that a clock? No, that's not a clock. Here's one that says city at the end of time, but there's no clock on it. I am really trying here, guys, and I'm just not seeing anything. Ooh, that looks like a clock. Is that a clock? It's a little twisted, but I think we found a clock. All right, I have no idea what this book is. This is part of like our kind of inherited library, but this is Virtual Unrealities, the short fiction of Alfred Bester by Alfred Bester. And so I found one. It only took me like 5 whole minutes. You know, I probably should have checked to see if there was anything else that would be better served by me being downstairs before I came back upstairs. But oh well. The next question is, do you have a poetry book? And we don't really do very much poetry here, so I don't think we've got one at all. I used to have Sylvia Plath's collection of poems, and then I was like aggressively trying to KonMari stuff, and I have a lot of regrets from when I did that. But I used to have that one, but unfortunately I don't anymore. And this is another one of the ones where I could go downstairs and look for a poetry collection and I would have no idea whether or not one was in there on site. So I think I'm missing this one. All right, next question is, do you have a book with an award stamp on it? And I must have something on this shelf because there's a lot more bestsellers I think here than I have in other places. Okay, I think this counts. We have The Vegetarian by Hong Kong, and it has a sticker that says 10 best books of the New York Times Book Review. So I think that counts as an award sticker. All right, the next is, do you have an author with the same initials as you? So mine would be BD, or if I'm feeling ambitious, BTD. I have doubts about this one, but we're gonna look a little bit and see what we can find. I might also have to go downstairs for this one. So up here I found a couple of B's, but no BDs. So we're gonna have to go downstairs again. At least in the basement there's like some semblance of order. So the D's start here. We have TD, CD, Philip K. Dick, well, guys, I looked through the D's and I cannot find anything. I guess B is not a very common first letter name. Like, I found some Brents and some Bretts in terms of first name, but nothing on the D shelf. That's very disappointing, which starts with a D, but that's not helping me any here, is it? I'm gonna stay downstairs for looking for a book of short stories because I think I'm more likely to find that down here because I don't really like short stories that much, and so I don't have a lot on my like favorite shelf. So I feel like the more we have of a particular author, the more likely we are to have a book of short stories. The thing is, I don't know how I would look for that. So I'm just kind of like routing through my ridiculously messy bookshelves that I've just kind of cobbled together, trying to find something that says like short stories. I would bet you that somewhere I've got a collection of short stories by Asimov, and I just don't know where they went. Like, I want to say that I, Robot is actually more a collection of short stories about robots than it is like one continuous story, but I'm not sure. So I'm just looking for something. Maybe Philip K. Dick has some short story collection. I'm sorry, I'm like tripping over things as I'm going through everything because it's just a mess. Everything's a mess. Does it count if it's like 2 stories in one book? That probably doesn't count because those are not short stories. They're more like novellas. Ooh, my intuition was good with checking the ones we have a lot of. So here we have The Collected Stories of Philip K. Dick, Volume 5. So I would guess that this probably has a number of short stories, and it looks like it does. I'm seeing at the top like maybe 50 pages worth of story before it flips on to the next thing. So we got one collection of short stories. Okay, so next we need to find a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long. So I'm going to try and look in my like middle floor shelves for this because it has a lot more books than my bookshelf, but it has enough books that I've read where I feel like I'll be able to say something about the book. Why are these out of order? Too short. I would have sworn the 3D body problem was longer than that. Well, I think I might have found one. So the Dark Forest, we go and we try and go to one of the later pages. No, 512. So close. And this one is too short. Come on, guys. Okay, so I gave up on trying to find that one on camera, but I was looking at my bookshelves, and after looking at what felt like every single book that might have been over 500 pages, I finally found The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This one is 503 pages. This is the last labeled page, and it is 503, so even if you include the one after that, it'd be 504, and this would count. All right, the next prompt is, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? I actually have two. One of these I'm sure of, and the other one I think was recently made into a movie. So we have The Martian by Andy Weir, and this even has on it the stickers that says it's going to be a movie. And then we have Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, which I believe a movie of this just came out in like the last year or two, and maybe has Natalie Portman in it. Question 19, do you have a graphic novel? I do have a graphic novel. I have Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and I believe this also qualifies for the do you have a book written by 2 or more authors. Although I also have Illuminate up there, which was written by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So I've got some for both of those. So that's all the prompts for the do I have that book tag. I did a lot worse than I thought I was going to. I thought this was going to be hard, but this took me 40 minutes to find all the books that I found and look for all the books that I found. I didn't even try for a book that was like an adaptation of another story, and I didn't find anything that had an author with the same initials as me. So 2 of those, I did not have that book for this tag. But thank you for watching this tag. I know it was a little bit scattered. I would love to do this with like a shelf set up that you could see me looking a little better, but it's really hard with all my shelves like not consolidated into one space, and like in my basement, you kind of saw my shelves, they're kind of a mess, and the basement like floor and everything is even more of a mess than the shelves are. So I bet you can imagine it's just a disaster. So thank you for watching this. If you like this tag and you'd like to do it and you have a booktube channel, please consider yourself tagged and let me know in the comments so that I can link your video from here. Until next time, happy reading.